To Unity of Tacoma. My name is Reverend Lori Erwin Johnson, and I'm your spiritual leader for today. And I use the pronouns she and her. If this is your first time watching, I want to welcome you. And if you've been here before, welcome back. We're so glad to have you. Every time you visit, no matter when it is, you are welcome at Unity of Tacoma. Even if we're not here on Sundays, you can always go to our website at unityoftacoma.org and find messages and meditations and prayers, anything to support you on your journey towards your enlightenment. So anytime you need us, we are there for you. Just reach out. I'd like to introduce our musical guest, which was Jean Mann. You just heard her. She does a wonderful job, always something exciting. She has something new for us today, so I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to introduce our musical guest. Thank you for being here, Jean. It's so wonderful to have you. She does a wonderful. Today is our 5th Sunday of Faith in Action. And if you are new to the concept of faith in action and you haven't been following along the last couple of weeks, Faith in Action is a series of study that we will focus on a certain book. And this year's book is Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Silence, The Power of Quiet in a World Full of Noise. And every time we do something fun here at Unity of Tacoma, we usually do something that has to do with something artistic. And so I'd like to share with you what's happening at Unity with our artistic abilities. We have this wonderful, I'm going to show it to you on your screen, if I can get my screen to come up. Okay, so we have this wonderful affirmation wall, and this pond that was created by Gabby and Kayla. They made this wonderful pond, and this first week we had nothing on it but one lotus, and it was this white lotus. This was made by Victoria. And then as we added our affirmations every week, you can see we added white ones, and then Linda added the green one, and then we had more affirmations. Over here, you see that Daniel did the red one, and then more affirmations. And then last week we had blue, which was Karen, and then we had more affirmations. And then this week, I am proud because it is my grand niece, Savannah, created the yellow one. So this week, as our affirmations get filled in, you'll have yellow lotuses to accompany this yellow lotus that she created. So I'm so proud of you, Savannah. If you're watching, this is your lotus. And so if you are interested in having your name up on the affirmation pond and having your name on one of these little affirmations, please contact me at Lori, Lori, at unityoftacoma.org. And I can put your name up there and you can share with us the wonderful unfolding of faith in action on our lotus pond. So, all right, let's stop share here. All right. And so if you're following along in the book, we know that it is chapter 5, The Power of Stillness. And a little later after my talk and after meditation, I'm going to give you some information on how you can join a study group on Zoom. We've been doing study groups on Zoom, but it's not too late to start. And even if you haven't read the book, it's absolutely fine. You can come in. The conversations are wonderful and enlightening and uplifting. So it gives us an opportunity to connect. So even if you haven't read the book or you're new to Faith in Action, please contact me. Get on with the study group, and I'll let you know during the announcements what dates and times that we have available. So what we usually do on Sundays is we start off with a prayer. So let us pray. Oh, here we are. We are together. Our time during the week that we share and connect with each other is here. This is a special time. It's a time to remember and to bless ourselves and our families and our friends with our love. And it kind of brings us to a space of demonstrating calm. We represent the silence, the calmness, the peace within us, and we reflect that out into the world. We are the witness and the bearer of this wonderful peace, this silence that's within us. And it's here we will manifest the quiet within the storms of our lives. We are ready for a new dawn. The stillness of everlasting peace will emerge through us and as us. And this is our calling This is what we accept. This is the beauty of who we are. And it is our divine truth. And so it is. Amen. I'm going to invite Jean back before we start our message. She's going to have another song for us, and then we'll move forward. Thank you, Jean.
Yeah. Right. You came from out of the skies, your skin and your eyes, the colors of bronze, the moon in your ear twinkled and shone. Soon you'll be gone, sailing out on the blue, your old man and you, drifting along, leaving me here, thinking it through. Soon you'll be gone. Moving through my changes as fast. Oh, sorry. Moving through my changes as fast as I can. I'll try and bring a balance to me and the man. And part of me is screaming to say, I want to be carried away. Moving through my changes as fast as I can. I'll try and bring balance to me and the man. And part of me is screaming to say, I want to be carried away from out of the skies, your skin and your eyes, the colors of bronze, the star in your ear twinkled and shone. Soon you'll be gone.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh, again, welcome to Unity of Tacoma. And this is the message portion of our service. And each week during Faith in Action, and we will be doing this an entire 7 whole Sundays. And we are currently on Sunday number 5. And each Sunday we have a color, a symbol, and an affirmation that represents our theme for the week based on the chapter that we're on. So today's color is yellow, and you can see that I'm wearing yellow, kind of. It's very bright in here today. The sun is out, and I feel blessed by that, and it's very warm in here, but it doesn't show up my yellow very well. And the symbol this week is the deer. In Buddhism, deer symbolizes peace, harmony, and longevity. Deers are gentle and they're serene, and their presence is sacred in the Buddhist tradition. There, in those places where the deers are present, there is no fear. The deer symbolizes also the Buddha's essential teachings, because his first teaching was in Deer Park. And so the deer encompasses all of what the Buddha has to talk about serenity and about peace. And our affirmation for today is waking up in the morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live them deeply. I am the embodiment of compassion. I'll read that again. Waking up in the morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live them deeply. I am the embodiment of compassion. And again, if you would like your name on a lotus, please let me know and I'll give you more information about that. in a little bit. Today's topic is the power of stillness. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the deer. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I have a little herd of deer. I guess that's what you would call it, a little herd or a little family of deer that I see every time that I go to the grocery store to pick up my groceries. Now, I used to live in the city of Tacoma, Washington, and I now live a little bit south. And it's not too far south, but just south enough that we get more wildlife out here. And every day, every time I go to the grocery store to pick up my groceries, I come across this family of deer. The deer are always they're very large for one, much larger than they seem to be. The mom and the babies, and there are a couple adolescents. So they're wonderfully beautiful animals, but they're so quiet and so serene that it's kind of a shock when you see them off the side of the road. These big creatures that are so quiet and moving so slow. And the interesting thing about them is that they have this calm stillness about them. They are acting as if nothing is going on, that their life is just the way it is. And this is a very busy four-way stop that we go to my grocery store. So we stop and there's always so many cars at this four-way stop. It's a busy, busy intersection, but the deer are so unfazed. And it kind of reminds me of what Thich Nhat Hanh is talking about in this chapter about the stillness within us, the peace that's within us at all times, no matter the circumstances, no matter where we are. There is a story that Thich Nhat Hanh told in this chapter that I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to summarize it a little bit because it's quite long. But I wanted to share it with you because it kind of accentuates that idea that stillness is available no matter what. And I will go on and read it, and then we can talk a little bit more about it afterwards. He says, I remember a time in Vietnam in 1947 when I was living as a student at a Buddhist temple. And at that time, the French army occupied the whole region and had set up a military base in that area. We often had gunfire around us between French and Vietnamese soldiers. People living in the high hills had set up small fortresses for protection. There were nights when the villagers set themselves in their homes, bracing against the barrage. Occasionally, monks took the remote paths in that region, but hardly anyone else dared to pass through that area. One morning, I set out on my monthly visit back to my root temple. It was quite early, and the dew was still on the tip of the grass. Inside a cloth bag, I carried my ceremonial robe and a few sutras, and in my hand, I carried the traditional Vietnamese cone-shaped hat. I felt light and joyful at the thought of seeing my teacher, my monastic brothers, and the ancient temple. I just got over a hill when I heard a voice call out. Up on the hill above the road, I saw a French soldier waving. Thinking he was making fun of me because I was a monk, I turned away and continued walking down the road. But suddenly, I had the feeling that this was no laughing matter. Behind me, I heard the clomping of soldiers' boots running up behind me. Perhaps he wanted to search me. The cloth bag I was carrying could have looked suspicious to him. I stopped walking and waited. A young soldier with a thin, handsome face approached me. Where are you going? He asked in Vietnamese. From his pronunciation, I could tell that he was French and that his knowledge of Vietnamese was very limited. I smiled and asked him in French, if I were to reply in Vietnamese, would you understand? When he heard that I could speak French, his face lit up. He said he had no intention of searching me and that he only wanted to ask me something. I want to know which temple you're from, he said. When I told him it was a nearby temple, he seemed interested. Is that the big temple on the hill near the train station? He asked. When I nodded, he pointed up to the pump house on the side of the hill, his guard post, apparently, and he said, if you're not too busy, please come up there with me so we can talk for a while. We sat down near the pump house and he told me about the visit he and 5 other soldiers had made 10 days earlier to the temple. They had gone to the temple at 10 at night in search of Vietnamese resistors, the Viet Minh, who were reportedly gathering there. He said, "We were determined to find them. We carried guns, and the orders were to arrest and even kill if necessary. But when we entered the temple, we were stunned." I asked, "Because there were so many Viet Minh?" "No, no," he exclaimed. "We wouldn't have been stunned if we had seen Viet Minh. We would have attacked no matter how many there were." I was confused. "What surprised you then?" "What happened was so unexpected," he said. "Whenever we did searches in the past, people would run away or be thrown into a state of panic." I explained, "People have been terrorized so many times that they run away in fear." He responded, "I myself don't make a habit of terrorizing or threatening people. Perhaps because they have been harmed by those who came before us that they are so frightened." But when I entered the temple grounds, he said, it was like entering a completely deserted place. The oil lamps were turned very low. We deliberately stomped our feet loudly on the gravel, and I had the feeling that there were many people in the temple, but we couldn't hear anyone. It was so incredibly quiet. The shouting of my comrade made me uneasy. No one replied. I turned on my flashlight and I aimed it into the room we thought was empty, and I saw 50 or 60 monks sitting still and silent in meditation. "That's because you came during our evening sitting," I said, nodding my head. "Yes, it was as if we'd run into a strange and invisible force there," he said. "We were so taken aback that we turned and went back out into the courtyard. The monks just ignored us. They didn't raise a voice in reply, and they didn't show any signs of panic or fear." "They weren't just ignoring you," Thich Nhat Hanh said. "They were practicing concentrating on their breath, and that was all." I felt drawn to the calmness, he admitted. It really commanded my respect. We stood quietly in the courtyard at the foot of the large tree and waited for perhaps a half an hour. Then a series of bells sounded and the temple returned to normal activity. A monk lit a torch and he came to invite us in. But we simply told him we were there, why we were there, and then we took our leave. That day, I began to change my mind about the Vietnamese people. "There are so many young men among us," he continued. "We are homesick. We miss our families in our country. We've been sent here to kill the Viet Minh, but we don't know if we will kill them or be killed by them and never return home to our families. Seeing the people here work so hard to rebuild the lives that were shattered reminds me of the shattered lives of my relatives in France. The peaceful and serene life of these monks makes me think about the lives of all the human beings on this earth, and I wonder why we've come to this place. What is this hatred between Viet Minh and us that we have traveled all over the world to fight them?" Young French soldier sat quietly lost in thought. Perhaps like me, he was becoming aware of the absurdity of war and the suffering of so many young people dying in an unjust and heartbreaking way. The sun had already risen high in the sky and it was time for me to go, and the soldiers told me that his name was Daniel and he was 21 years old. In the months that followed, he visited me when he could, and I took him to our meditation hall to practice with me. And then one day, when he came to visit, he announced that his unit was being moved to another area, and he promised that he'd write me, and I've not heard from him since. But I know that when I saw him last, he was at peace. That moment of profound silence in the temple had changed him. He allowed the lives of all living beings to fill his heart, and he saw the meaninglessness and the destructiveness of war. What made it all possible was the moment of complete and total stopping and opening to the powerful, healing, miraculous ocean called silence. To manifest our true nature, we need to bring a stop to the constant internal conversations that take up all of the space within us. I thought that was a very appropriate reading for what we're talking about today, because he tells the story to emphasize that no matter where you are or what circumstances you come up against, or where you are in war or peace, that there is always a space of tranquility that can be found within you. It's a space you create and not one that you occupy. You create that area, that space within you through the practice of mindfulness. And chapter 5 talks a lot about mindfulness and how you can do that in your life. And our contemporary definitions of mindfulness vary, but at its base, mindfulness is our basic ability to be fully present, to be aware of where we are and what we're doing in this moment in time. And we're not to be overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. And over the past 2 decades, mindfulness has become a very common practice, especially amongst mental health therapists and meditation instructors. It's become a coined phrase, mindfulness. And several different types of mental health therapy practices contain mindfulness, and they continue to grow. One of the ones that I was most interested in and I used a lot with my clients is acceptance and commitment therapy. It uses mindfulness as a way of accepting what is in your life and committing to move forward despite or in spite of what's happening to you. Mindfulness meditation has been studied and promoted in various universities around the country, and they are contributing to the growing data that states that meditation and mindfulness practices are extremely beneficial to your overall well-being, mental and physical health. One very popular meditation practice or a mindfulness practice that was introduced several years ago was developed by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And his technique is called mindfulness-based stress management. And he created that, about 1980 or so. And he's written several books about it. He tours around the country and he talks about it. And you can still find his videos today on YouTube. His name is Jon Kabat-Zinn, and he talks about mindfulness meditation. And he really brought it to the forefront of our consciousness within our experience here in our Western world. And he states that mindfulness is the awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and with non-judgment, to paying attention to the unfolding of the experience of moment to moment without judgment or criticism. What mindfulness does, and this comes from the Buddhist teachings, but of course in our contemporary society we have changed it a little bit, but we use it in ways that are very similar. It teaches us to focus our minds to pay attention to what's happening in the here and now. And we do this by focusing on something that's happening in the present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh and others promote focusing on your breath, which is something that's always available to us because it's something we always do. And it keeps the mind in the present moment. So you will focus on the breath coming in your nostrils and coming out your nostrils, or in through your mouth or out through your mouth, or your chest rising and falling, or your abdomen rising and falling. These are all good ways that you can focus on your breath. And it's not about creating your breathing, because breathing happens automatically. You do not have to assist it. It's about watching and observing your natural flow of breath. Focusing on the breath then prevents your mind from wandering away. Now, that's the natural tendency of people to, the mind does wander away, and that is not a fault of yours or anyone else's. That's just what the mind does. Every time your mind wanders away from your focal point, you bring it back gently to where you were focusing on, whether that be breathing or something else. There are several different ways that you can pay attention to something within the present moment. He talks a lot, Thich Nhat Hanh talks a lot about walking meditation. And some people have trouble sitting for a long period of time, just trying to focus. And so walking meditation is an alternative for people who are kind of fidgety when they sit. So walking meditation, feeling your feet hit the ground, feeling your body moving through space and time. These are all ways that you can focus in the here and now, in the present moment while you're walking. He also talks about eating, the time when you sit down to eat, and there are a couple of times a day where we do take the time to eat. And during that time, you can focus on your eating process. So sitting down, seeing the plate in front of you, seeing the food, smelling how delicious it smells and what it tastes like, and focusing on what's happening in that moment keeps you from wandering away into other thoughts and processes that we're not really ready to want to focus on. We want to make sure that we stay in the present moment. Now, every time you talk about mindfulness, you're talking about a way to decrease anxiety and depression. And the reason it does that is because mindfulness keeps your mind in the present moment. It keeps you where you are. You're not, depression is when you worry, when you think about things that have happened in the past, you lament or you mull them over. Anxiety happens when you are looking to the future, trying to predict what's going to happen. And both of these things can be curtailed by using a mindfulness practice. Now, it's difficult at first, and it's not something that you have to do for a long period of time, but it is a practice. And that's why it's called a meditation or a mindfulness practice. You do it over and over again, so it becomes a natural process for you. There are other ways that you can understand meditation, or you can have a mindfulness practice. You can do it while you're doing your chores. He talks about washing dishes, and I have a dishwasher, so I kind of cheat, and my husband does wash the dishes, so it's something I don't have to do. But if you do still wash your dishes by hand, or if you're doing another chore, you can do that in a mindful way, paying attention to the water that flows on your hands, or the way the suds in the sink feel. And just paying attention and keeping your focus on that action is a good way to keep mindfulness practice in your daily life without having to take too much time to do it. Thich Nhat Hanh recommends that you start out practicing mindfulness for about 5 minutes a day. And again, it's a practice that has to be done, and it can be done at any time. So there's plenty of time in the day to pick something that you are doing and slip mindfulness into your routine. Just paying attention and focusing on what you're doing in the moment is how you can practice mindfulness in a real easy way. In a few minutes, we're going to do a meditation. And so I'm going to cut this off a little early and have Jean come back, because this meditation is a little bit longer than what we normally do. But in a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to the mindfulness-based stress management. I have a hard time with that. Mindfulness-based stress management, developed by John Kabat-Zinn. And in the similar way we've done in the last 4 weeks, we have done meditation, but this one is a little bit longer. So I'm going to cut it off a little bit short and send it over to Jean and have her play another song while I prepare for meditation and you get into a space of meditation. And then we'll take this wonderful trip with John Kabat-Zinn. Thank you. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you. So this is a brand new song, and I wrote this while I was in Stanley, Idaho on a songwriting retreat just a couple weeks ago. It was incredible to be back with people again, with other songwriters, and we bonded really lovely in different ways, and although we were all on our own to write songs. So this is what came out on my last day. This is called, the working title is Atlas. There's a story every moment, a notch in every tree, from your button nose to your pinky toes. Come share a tale with me. Quivering of season change, no pushback, down the fold. This rumpled, tumbled, tender heart has worn its hand untold. Our weary, traveled bodies have wrestled tomes of time. There's grace in moving slower, an atlas of many lines. Weathered every storm thus far, the wind may take its toll. Carry on we do, the crown of learned soul. There's a story every moment, a notch in every tree. From your button nose to your pinky toes, come toast this life with me. When day is gone, I'll hug you hard and bid you warm adieu. Hold you in my deepest heart until we meet anew.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh,
Work in progress.
it would be so nice to be able to, just how refreshing it must have been to be with people again.
It was an incredibly emotional week, and we were all strangers at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. You know, but that just goes to show that we are all connected.
Absolutely.
And when we're apart for an extended period of time, like we have been,
Yeah.
we really, really crave that connection.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much for sharing that in your experience. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we are going to go into meditation. And this meditation, again, is from Jon Kabat-Zinn's teaching, and it's accompanying his book, Meditation is Not What You Think. So all of the meditation books that we've used, from the one last week and then this one, is about people with the idea that meditation has to be a certain way or a way that they wouldn't be comfortable with. And Jon Kabat-Zinn was one of the people that introduced meditation in a way that the normal folk like me could get into becoming mindful and in a meditation practice. So today's meditation is from him, and it's a little bit longer. So if you could just get into a place where you feel comfortable, settle down into a space where you're sitting up and comfortably supported, or you could be lying down and comfortably supported in that way. But you're going to pay attention to your breath. And he says you want to ride the waves of your breath from moment to moment, resting in the awareness, breathing in and breathing out. It's an awareness that features the entirety of your bodyscape and your breathscape as they express themselves moment by moment. Life is unfolding here and now in this body, in this awareness of your breath. Take a moment to just get centered, focusing on your breath, going in and out of your body. Whether you're focusing on the air coming in through your nostrils, or the rising and falling of your chest or your abdomen, making sure that you're just bringing your focus gently placed upon your breathing, not forcing it in any way, just allowing it to be natural, and you're just watching it. And when you're ready, you can let go of the breath and your focus on the body as a whole. And you can allow them to recede back into your consciousness. It's still present, but it's not a major focus of this meditation anymore. It's still happening without our assistance, without our witnessing. And we're going to shift our focus now away from that. And we're going to turn it into a space where we're focusing on thoughts, feelings, and mood states. Bring thoughts, feelings, and moods into your present awareness, to the forefront of your consciousness. Whatever is circulating inside your brain, just bring that to your awareness. And for a time, just allow yourself to watch it like you were watching a stream or a current. And rather than being carried away with these thoughts and ideas and emotions, you just want to observe that they're moving about, just like you were sitting on the banks of a river, and that your thoughts and emotions and your mood, they're just streams of ideas, streams of emotions, and you're just watching it flow by. And as you watch this stream, if there are individual thoughts that really want your attention, see it, feel it, recognize it, and then let it go. Every time something comes up that seems to be a stickler and doesn't want to move forward, see it, feel it, recognize it, and let it go. Recognize that these thoughts, these emotions, this mood are just mental events, the side effect of what happens when you have a thinking mind. It's independent of their content and their emotional charge. They're separate from you. They are not who you are. Observe them, see them, recognize them, and let them go. You can see these thoughts, these feelings, these emotions encompassed in a bubble. And these bubbles can be floating away, or they can be part of the current within the stream that you're watching. But these things encased in bubbles are not really facts about who you are or what you're doing. Those are truths that are beyond you. Whatever emotion you have attached to them, that's not you. Whatever urgency that they seem to have, that's not true. Whether they're pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, just watch them go by. There's no attachment to any of them. They just are as they are. We're going to expand a little bit into a different metaphor. Instead of seeing these thoughts in bubbles, you can see them as clouds in the sky. As you're lying there looking up at the sky, Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions are floating in front of you, but they're not part of you. It's like bubbles coming from the bottom of the pot of a boiling water. And like the water, they arise and they linger for a moment and then they go away. When you relate this to your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, they stay as they are, as relevant as they are, but they're not that important. They are just things that come from your mind and from your brain. Even if they're compelling thoughts or wonderful emotions, they aren't who you are. They are what you experience. And just for now, as we sit for a few moments, just let all of them come and go. All your thoughts, emotions, feelings, whether you think of them as clouds or bubbles or in a stream of thought, or you allow the sensations to come in and out your body, whichever way that you identify with them. Just watch them. Allow them to come and go. You don't prefer one over another. You're just resting in an awareness that you're thinking and that there are spaces between your thoughts. And it's in this space between thoughts, from moment to moment, from breath to breath, that we sit here or we lie here and we notice the spaces between. And you can begin to recognize that there is this schema, this scaffolding that's a running commentary in your mind that is always there and it supports you. And it's there whether you pay attention to it or not. But all of the noise, all of the sounds, all of the emotions, all of the feelings, all of the moods that you experience, they're in the background. And like you were using the remote on your television, you can turn down the noise. Just visualize yourself pushing the button to turn the noise down. You don't have to get sucked up into that stream of consciousness or that commentary that constantly goes on in your mind, that narrative you tell yourself about yourself. You just turn it down. Over and over again, these thoughts, these emotions, these moods come and go. It's who you are. It's created the person, the dynamic human being that you are. That endless thinking, the emotions, the beauty and the bad, they accompany all of the experiences that you have, pleasant and unpleasant, neutral or other. What's going on in your life in this moment, all of those things encompass who you are as the beautiful human that you are. And as you see that, as you step away and see what goes into who you are, what an incredible being you are. Recognizing that, taking a moment to be aware of that, and to acknowledge that you are amazing. And for just a few more moments, I would like you just to sit and allow those thoughts to go by, and bringing your awareness back to your breath. Again, we're in a space where we're not forcing, we're just observing, allowing that schema, that scaffolding of thoughts and ideas and personhood that is making up who you are. Allow that to be behind you. Turn it down if you need to with your virtual remote, and allow those feelings to just be as you observe your breath for a few more moments. As we end this meditation, we allow, as we move into our everyday lives, we understand that the thoughts, the emotions, the mood that we're in doesn't identify or define who we are. We know that they are just artifacts of our wonderful, beautiful, complex mind and the experience that we have in this world, moment by moment by moment, breath by breath by breath. And as you sit here and throughout the rest of your week, understand that this is who you are, the beautiful human that you have created for yourself, knowing that you can witness all of that whenever you want, just by paying attention and bringing your focus to your breath. And as you become more and more aware of your body in the space that you're in, you can begin to stir your body by wiggling your fingers or toes. You can stretch. You can breathe in and out and just allow your consciousness to come back to the awareness of you within your space, whatever space you're in. Take a deep breath in and let it out. One more deep breath in and let it out. And as you let it out, you feel all the tension of any tension that you were carrying is completely gone. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can bring your awareness back into this space. Thank you for taking the time to be mindful in meditation today. I'm going to have Jean come back with another song before we go on with the rest of our service.
All right. That was beautiful. Thank you. All right. Looking down the stream, far as the eye can see, nothing in the way, nothing in the fray. We fly and fly back to a simple time. No reason and no rhyme for doing what you do. No fussing round the coop. You smile and smile. But one hard breath and you're caught in the wind, holding court with hearth and kin. Your mind reels back, a fish on a line, flopping around fighting against the tide. You try and try. Oh, jeez. Sonny, quiet. Live music. This is doing it in time a little bit. Stories in the bookcase, hidden between the words. sparking memories, bringing you to your knees. You cry and cry. Heartache holds its own, a tether on your soul, shining ever bright while holding on so tight. You try and try. The duct tape trunk holding all your life, glue gun weak after all this time. The hardest thing is to let it go. Love comes round when you let it flow. It's time. It's time. It's time. Looking down the street, far as the eye can see, nothing in the way, nothing in the fray. You fly and fly. You fly and fly. You fly and fly. You fly.
Wonderful. What's your dog's name?
Sunny. He's
Sunny.
laying back there by the heater in the red
You
and
know
black
what?
pad.
Sunny had something that wanted to share.
He
And
did.
that's okay. You know what?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a special day. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Let's bring your dog to work day.
You know what? I usually have my cat with me, and I had to shut the door and the curtain so she can't see me, she can't hear me, and
Yeah, we would have heard Sunny more if I had the door shut. He'd be scritching and crying.
exactly. Oh gosh, we love our pets.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Jean. All right, we've come to the portion of our service where we open our hearts to give. All donations that we receive here at Unity of Tacoma support the missions and various ministries here that we love to do, and we love to support the community, and anything that you can give, we would greatly appreciate. And there are three wonderful ways that you could give. You can go donate online at unityoftacoma.org/donate. Or you can send it via Zelle to 253-576-3225. Or you can mail a check to Unity of Tacoma, P.O. Box 112289, Tacoma, Washington 98411. And as we prepare to give, I would like you to hold the intention of prosperity within your hands, visualizing and circulating the abundance that's flowing through you. Jesus taught us in Luke 6:38. Give and you will receive. You will be given much, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It will spill into your lap. The way you give to others is the way God will give back to you. And as you visualize holding your gift in your hands, please repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for my blessings today, and I am grateful in every way. And so it is. Amen. May the blessings of your gift to us bring so many blessings back to you. We thank you for the love and support we receive here at Unity of Tacoma. And so I have a couple of announcements. You can join us next Sunday, November 6th, during our live stream. We will be covering chapter 6, titled Paying Attention. Our musical guest will be Morris Catton. Our theme next week is I don't know what our theme next week is. Paying attention, sorry. And our color is pink. And our symbol for next week is the lion. We have study groups that are going on that talk about this wonderful book that we're studying by Thich Nhat Hanh, Silence, the Power of Quiet in a World Full of Noise. And we have 3 different times during the week that we meet via Zoom. We have Wednesdays at 4 p.m., Thursdays at 6:30 p.m., and Friday at 6:30 p.m. If you are not signed up for a book study but are interested in participating in one, it is not too late. You can contact me at Lori@unityoftacoma.org. That's Lori, Lori, at unityoftacoma.org, and I will get you signed up for a study group of your choice, whether it be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday evening. Today, we will be having a church gathering online via Zoom after our church service today at 12 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be checking in with everyone to see how you're doing, to see what we can do better, and updating you on what we have planned for the holidays. So if you are interested in meeting up after the church today and you've been following along, contact me within the next hour at Lori@unityoftacoma.org, and I will send you a Zoom link so you can join us. And if you like what's happening here at Unity of Tacoma, please like and share us on social media. You can go to our Facebook page, you can go to YouTube page, and we're on Instagram. Share what's happening here with your friends and family. We have so much going on and we have so much coming up for the holidays. So we would really love to see you and have you involved. In our benediction for today, I was reading the Daily Word. If you're not familiar with the Daily Word and new to Unity, the Daily Word is a Unity publication that gives you daily devotionals and prayers and scripture lessons that you can use. And it's just a wonderful way to stay connected with the divine within yourself. And I checked out the one that was yesterday. And even though today is Halloween and they have one specifically for Halloween today, I really loved the one from yesterday because it ties in what we were talking about today. And our benediction title for today, I Live a Peaceful Life. The storms of life sometimes leave me thinking, and I am caught in the swirling winds of a hurricane, trying to steady myself and keep my footing. Today, I remember that at the center of every hurricane is the I, a place of perfect stillness. I find my peace in this serene center and return to it whenever I need to still my mind and calm my feelings. With practice, I begin to live my life from this place of perfect calm and tranquility. No matter how hard the wind blows in my life, I return to my center again and again to find a place of perfect peace. I bless all others with my peaceful bearing and kind deeds. Peace grows within me. My mind and heart is full and I share it. I am ever mindful that I am one with spirit and with all people. And so it is. Amen. Jean is going to come back and she's going to sing our peace song. I want to thank everyone for being here today and sharing your Halloween with us and being here, just sharing your silence and the beautiful, wonderful, amazing person that you truly are. So Jane Mann, thank you for being here. And
Thank you for having me.
And we will see everyone else next week at 10 a.m.
Okay, let's all have a big sing along with the peace song. All right, here's the first note. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be our joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let
everyone. Have a wonderful holiday